So, hello, this is Bob from Makana Odyssey, and today we're going to talk about what happens after you die. The reason I'm making this video is because I do get this question quite a bit in what the things that I do, because I do a tremendous amount of spiritual work. Now, let me say this. When you die, first of all, it is not over. You still have consciousness. What happens is that no matter what the situation is, the circumstances of your death, I should say, you're fine. You could be beat up, shot, stabbed, you could be crippled, you could be dying of a disease. Once your body releases itself, or rather your soul releases itself from that body, you feel magnificent, you feel wonderful, you feel a sense of relief and joy, and you don't want to come back. You don't want to go back into that body. You want to be able to move on. Now, I'll tell you how I know this in a minute. Now, also, sometimes the soul gets confused. And when it gets confused, it gets stuck here. Now, sometimes the soul will stay around for a couple of days, or up to 10 days, I believe, or maybe even a little bit longer, just to see what's happening, or because it has unfinished business, it thinks, or whatever it is, so to hang around a little bit. But other souls, they don't go to the light at all, and they get stuck here. Sometimes it's because they don't want to give up the things they have. They might want to stay in the house that they love so much, whatever it is, and they become what we consider to be ghosts. But they can be moved on. We move them on all the time in the things that we do. So we do get souls that are stuck here, and we can move them on, and we do it at our shop. And I have friends that do it all the time as well. At any rate, now, so there's also the near-death experience. Now, the near-death experience is a little bit different. The near-death experience is that you see yourself raise up from your body, and now you're looking down at whatever the situation is, whether you're in the street from an accident waiting for the ambulance, or you're on an operating table, whatever it might be. You're there, you're looking down, and you can see. And you could see everything that's happening around. You could hear everything. This is documented many, many times that people could explain everything that happened. They not only can hear, because you say, well, a person could hear, but they see. They know who the people are there, who the people arrived, who they look like, what they are. They know all of this. Now, 90% of what has been recorded then is accurate. They know who was there, what the doctor was doing. There are many things. Now, a lot of this information I also get off of a lot of scholars, very good scholars who are magnificent, and all of this is documented. But then you get pulled back down into the body. A lot of times, a relative or somebody can tell you that it wasn't your time and you have to go back. And even though you don't want to go back, you do go back. And life goes on until finally when it passes on a regular basis. Now, your soul moves on to home, and it stays there a little bit until it's ready to reincarnate. And why do you have to reincarnate? You have to reincarnate because you have to reach perfection, and you cannot advance in the spirit world. You have to take human form. Earth is like a school, and in this school we learn. Now, there are many realms, and there are many other planets in the universe as well. And who doesn't believe that would be very naive, because the universe is never ending. If you think there's no other life, it's craziness. Of course, there has to be. So we journey sometimes around to different places, and we live a life there. Now, there is also a theory that also what happens is that you live more than one existence at a time. In other words, you might be here and someplace else at the same time. You know, that essence of your consciousness could be in two worlds at one time. There are theories on that. Now, the information that you might say, how can you prove it? It comes from past life regression. Now, when I do past life regressions, sometimes it takes more than one because it's not easy a lot of times. But I have people that went back to Rome, went to Egypt, went to the medieval times, stuff of this sort. But there's so much documented evidence. There's so many scientists and doctors who have put so many people under hypnosis and wrote down what they said, gathered information, and proved it. They looked it up. If a person said they were this person or that person, they looked it up and they found out that person did exist. They found out the time of death or whatever it is, which will be recorded. So there's a million things which show the past life journey, your soul's journey, all documented. Now you must come back to reach perfection. Remember that you have to. See, I have a lot of customers that come to me and say, you know what, things are so shitty in this life, I don't want to come back. It's been too rough. You must come back. You come back because you have to be able to reach enlightenment. Your soul has to progress. Now, there are some souls that are so advanced that they don't have to come back at all. But they do. There's not a lot of them that you'll see in the human form, but you have the option. In answer to your question, the person that asked me that question, what happens when you do reach perfection? Do you join in one, or do you still have, consciousness? You have a choice. You could help others. You can come back to help others as well. You could become a guide and direct people to try your best to direct people. There's many options that you have as a soul. You don't have to immediately go into this big consciousness where you think you lose something, because you don't, because we're all part of the consciousness, but we all have consciousness ourselves as well. Now, you might have to come back 1,000 times. See, even if you come back 100 times, doesn't mean that you're going to be ready. You might make a lot of mistakes and continue to make these mistakes on and on and on. So you just have to have no unfinished business before you can reach freedom. In a sense, freedom of being pulled back onto the earth. When you feel that real freedom is when you first start, because you pulled out of that body and you feel, wow, man, I am magnificent. I feel terrific. I am not burdened no more. I have no pain. I'm all together. I can walk. I can see. I can talk. All of these things. But then you have to do that journey. Now, the soul has to leave the body. Now, there are different theories on how it leaves the body. For instance, if it leaves in the lower parts of the body, you're definitely not ready. You're going to come back. The more advanced you are, the higher. In other words, sometimes it can leave your mouth, your eyes, your ears, the top of your head. Now, like most yogis that are really, really good, it leaves the top of the head. Other people that are getting up there can leave the eyes, the ears, the higher, the better. That means that your soul is more advanced. But positively, the reason I'm making this video is to explain there is life after this. There is a tremendous amount of proof. And for those people who feel there's nothing, that's a shame. That it really is a shame. Because there's so much proof now of life after death that it's amazing. Your soul goes on a journey. It goes back. Some people say it goes to a station where now it ends up going back to different parts of the spirit world. It reviews what happened on earth. It sees the loved ones that were here together. It sees them in the form that they knew them in, of course. But we travel together as souls. So in other words, sometimes you might be the father and the other one might be the child. And other times you might not want to be back with that soul in for any reason because of what happened on Earth. But you have to understand, most of what happens here is sort of in a plan. But even though it is in a plan, things have to be somewhat unpredictable as well. It cannot be scripted because if it's scripted, you really can't advance. So the plan is to come back, try to get in the best position that you can so that you can advance. But then things can go wrong. Sometimes the mind is a little defective on the human, or different things of this sort. And the soul runs into a problem. And I feel that a lot of times those souls that are in the bodies that are sort of defective in some way or another, those are the ones that have a hard time getting back home. They get into that state of confusion. And there are many, many, many entities that are running around, ghosts, I should say, running around, doing stuff, throwing stuff around. But if a ghost is making noise in your house, throwing stuff around, it's because they want to be heard, they want to be seen, they want to be able to contact you because they are among you. I mean, they could sit right next to you, you don't know that, but they can't contact you. Think how frustrating that is. Sitting right next to someone that maybe someone you love and you can't talk to them. Or just you want to communicate with someone and say, I'm here, I'm here, I'm here. No matter who it is, it could be a stranger, but then they just, you're not there. This is tremendously frustrating and confusing, and souls go through things like that. At any rate, so what I would like to do, if it's possible, mostly for the witches, I'd like you to send me something here on YouTube if you've had a past life regression or if you've had an out of body experience. I'm curious on the way it would have been for you if you're a witch. The reason I'm saying that, because I think that also some of the regressions rather some of the past life experience, get my brain together, some of the um, out of body experiences, people have reported they go, I was in hell and stuff of this sort. You know, those parts, I think, are a mind that has been contaminated by too much voodoo put in their head. When I say voodoo, you see, when you keep on telling a person if you're going to do this, you're going to go to hell, you do this, you're going to go to hell, you're going to go to hell, you're going to go to hell. The first thing when they die, it's on their mind, no, I'm going to go to hell. So now they wake up and they find that they're in hell. Or they're not. There is no hell. That's besides the point. Anyway, if you can, send me a little line and we can discuss it. Okay, so blessed be and namaste. And I bless you all. A healthy life here and in the past and in the future, I should say. Thank you.